So I was looking at Brush, which is another of those open source tools for training gaussian splats. This is the official GitHub. And Brush is very similar to Postshot in some ways. It's not as complete, I would say. It is lacking a few features that I like from Postshot, but it is open source and it's free, so it might be an alternative for some people. So here you can basically download it, right? If you go to releases, you can just download it, and you can read a little bit about it here. There are information about training and about import, export, and etc. So you can just take a look here. They have a video here where you can see how they use it. I don't think they have a full tutorial or anything, but it's very, very simple to use. So I'm going to show you very quickly how it looks like. So I have it here. So, once you download it, it would be just an exe file that you can just double click and it will open this simple user interface. So if you wanna train a gaussian splatting, and I have a synthetic gaussian splatting here. So if I take a look here, data, frames, I have a bunch of frames. This is an animation, and every frame has, I don't remember how many. I believe that 90 cameras, right? And then I have exported as well the call map information for cameras and sparse point cloud. So if you want to train that, if I go to directory, and I go to brush data, and I select the first frame, this is going to start training. And here you can change a few settings, like the amount of steps that you want to use, the max splat count, the spherical harmonics degree, etc. Right? There are a lot of options actually that I haven't played with because I don't think it's really needed in most cases, but it seems like you can do a lot of fine tuning here. But again, I haven't really experimented with that. The most important features for me here are the training steps. By default is 30,000, the max splat count, the spherical harmonics degree, and then you have the resolution for your images here, so you can set a specific resolution. In my case, I think I'm using something that is not that big. I think it's just like 1200 by 1200, and that's pretty much it, right? Then you click on start, and this is started. This has started training your gaussian splat. So on the top, you can actually see it. It's a little bit weird to move around this. You can use WASD, but it doesn't really behave as good as a game engine or a game. But yeah, it kind of works, right? So as you can see, it's training, and you can see live the process of training this gaussian splat. So here in the bottom, you can just essentially go through all the images, all the 90 of them that I have for this data set. And here on the top, you can pause the training, you can pause the live update, you can change the background of the color, you can show grid, etc. Right? You don't really have to mess with these things. And here on the stats tab, you can see things like, like the amount of splats that is generating, the step that is currently at, and the elapsed training time, and other features. Anyway, once you're happy, you can just click on export, and you can export the PLY file. So it's very easy to use. Okay, so I'm gonna kill it because what I want to do actually is to batch process all the frames to make this gaussian splat animation. So Brush has a command line interface, right? So it has a command line interface that allows you to batch process Gaussian splats training sessions. So if I launch a command line from here and I do brush app help, here you can see all the commands that you can use. And again, there are a lot of them because apparently you can fine tune a lot of options, but essentially, it tells you how to use it here. So you need to launch the app, then use some options, and then the path for the files. So yeah, training options, you have things like total steps, and then all these other flags that you can take a look at. I'm not using any of those. Then you can use the max splats, you can use the refine every, and a bunch of them, right? The spherical harmonics degrees that we used before, the max frame resolution, etc. Right? So you can just use that, which is fine, but it's a little bit tricky. You can make typos, and if you're using this all the time, it's probably better to create a script to do it, in the same way that I've done for post shot. In one of my previous videos, I saw you how to use my post shot little software that I wrote in order to batch process Gaussian splat training. I kind of done the same for brush. So for brush, I made this tiny user interface. Okay. That basically you just need to point to your brush executable file, which in my case is in brush, this one here, right? Then we can select an input folder, which is going to be data frames, and I'm going to select the root, and it will batch process every single frame automatically. Then we can output. We need to select an output folder, so I'm going to select brush out, and this is going to export a sequence of PLY files. And then here we can say the training steps. So by default, I have it at 15,000 instead of 30,000. And that is just because, I like to do tests where this doesn't take a very long time. The max splat number, the spherical harmonics degrees, and the max resolution set to full, meaning that it's going to use the full resolution of the images. And that's pretty much everything you need here. So this will go through every single frame. It will read the camera data, the sparse point cloud, and every single camera, and will create a Gaussian splat and export a PLY format, a PLY file. Then it will jump into the next frame, and so on until it has finished everything. So I'm going to click on Run Batch, and this one should tell you, that it's processing the very first frame. And here you can actually see the command that is using. So, if you want to use that in the command line, you can, but it's better to use this user interface. And here we have a progress bar that is going to go from left to right. And once this is done, we should have a sequence of PLY files. Okay, so this has finished. So I have all my 26 PLY files. So we can take a look in different places, but we can actually look at that in Brush. So I'm going to open Brush again. And here we can just select the root directory for my PLY files, file sequences, and we should be able to play the animation. So, we can do just one, by the way. If we just go to File and select Brush Out and select the first one, this is how it looks. So this is the Gaussian splat for that first frame, right? But if we select directory, we can just select the root, do that, and now we have the actual animation. Okay, so confirming that everything is kind of working. Okay, so yeah, that's basically how you use Brush. It's very simple to use, and that's how you use my batch processing tool. So you can do batch processing for a bunch of Gaussian splats or an animated Gaussian splat.